Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't got much to add to what has already been said. I would like to just run through what the various meetings that the Society has held, and just to remind you that we were the first laser society ever to be established, and as a result of our having done so, various national and regional societies were formed subsequently. So we were founded in Tel Aviv in 1975, and since then we have met every 2 years. In 1977 in Dallas, where Billy Aronoff, Professor Aronoff, was the host, and in 1979 we met in Graz, where Professor Heppner and Professor Usher were the hosts. In 1981 was the first meeting in Tokyo, and since then, incidentally, we have met 3 times in Japan. So the Japanese have actually been one of the bulwarks of the society. The Japanese have contributed more, I think, than any other nation to the progress, development, and success of our society. The next meeting was held in Detroit, where Beckman was the host, and in Jerusalem they decided to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the foundation of the society, and we had a meeting in Jerusalem. The Munich Society was hosted by Professor Hofstetter, and I must say that Professor Hofstetter was able to host two meetings, and we'll mention that as we go along. The meeting in Taipei was one of the most successful meetings we've ever had, and we have never forgotten this meeting, organized by Professor Kao. The Anaheim meeting, organized by Scott and Professor Glantz, was held in Anaheim, next to Disneyland. How do we get back here? Can I come back? Can somebody come and help me with that? Good. Thank you. Come back again. And the Anaheim meeting was followed by the meeting in 95. No, I'm sorry. The Anaheim meeting. Can you come back, please? Come back.
Yeah, that's right.
Come.
No, this is right. This is right. 1991.
Which one?
We are in 1991.
Okay, now we know what we're doing. Now the Bangkok meeting actually in 1993 was the biggest and I think the most successful meeting the Society had ever had, and we have always been grateful to Professor Nimsakul for having organized that meeting. We, the Laser family, the International Society family, always talk about this meeting whenever we come together. The Buenos Aires meeting, hosted by Professor Yuri, was a very, very successful meeting too. Professor Usher, who organized the meeting in Rostock in 1997, wasn't well at the time. He had had a very bad attack of respiratory distress, and it was a good meeting from the scientific point of view, but the attendance unfortunately was very small. The Havana meeting, organized by Chapero, was an exciting meeting from many points of view, because it gave us an opportunity to see what was being done with lasers in Havana. I must say that at that meeting we were able to see that practically every surgical specialty in Cuba was using the laser, particularly the carbon dioxide laser, of course, because they were operating with it. And then we come to the meeting hosted by Professor Rao in Chennai, and that was a meeting which we again would never forget, and I hope to be able to show you a little bit of something there. The Munich meeting, headed again by Professor Hofstetter, was as usual a very, very nice meeting. In Germany we've always had a wonderful reception, wonderful hospitality, and very, very good science, very good lectures on the lasers. Professor Kato, who organized the meeting in 2005, it was a nice meeting, but as expected, the Japanese always held good meetings. It was always well attended, and I must say, again, the Japanese were able to show us what they are capable of doing to keep our society alive and even to make it thrive. And the meeting in Florence with Professor Longo, Florence is such a beautiful city, and Professor Longo is very, very experienced in organizing meetings, and I think all of us who were there enjoyed the meeting exceptionally, but we also learned quite a lot at that meeting about what's happening with lasers in medicine at that time. And now we have Professor Oshiro organizing this meeting, and I wish to compliment him on what he has been able to do in one single year. He didn't have much warning, and I congratulate you, Oshiro, for what you have managed to organize, and I assure everybody here that this will be a productive and a successful and enjoyable meeting. Now, this was the first symposium in 1975. It was attended by 65 people. That's all we had around the world who were working with lasers at the time, and most of them had been using the CO2 laser, which we developed in 1972 in Israel, the Kaplan laser. There we are. Now, this is the present President of Israel, President Peres. He was a young man then. For that matter, so was I. And here you see President Peres addressing us. You see Masha in the front. Peres addressing us, Masha sitting in front. I don't think there is anybody here that you can recognize from here, but it was attended by such people as Billy Aronoff and Ricardo Pariente and Goldman and Mester from Romania, and actually all the pioneers of lasers in surgery and medicine. Now the meeting in Dallas, unfortunately, I didn't have any photographs. It was a small meeting organized by Billy Aronoff at the time, and some of the people who are here today attended. That was the first meeting that they attended. and I'll talk about it as we go along. That's Professor Hepner. And now the Tokyo meeting in 1981, I think, was one of the greatest meetings we've ever attended. There, if I remember correctly, there were over 1,000 participants from all over the world, and it just gave us an indication of how the lasers in surgery and medicine had developed in that short period. Now this was the Detroit meeting. It was the 5th one, actually. It was Terry Fuller who helped Beckman organize the meeting. It was Terry and Professor Hepner and Professor Usher. And Narong attended that meeting, as he did the one in Graz. Narong, Nimsakul and Professor Tsumi, actually the first meeting they attended was the one in Graz, and in this meeting they already had a lot to contribute. It was Billy Aronoff. This was all part of the meeting. Now the 1985 meeting was we hosted. As you see, all the stalwarts were there. Professor Tsumi, Professor Usher, and we had a sort of an Arabic party at that time. Now the first meeting in Munich was really a great meeting, as all of them have been actually. And there again you see all the original pioneers like Narong Nimsakul, and this was an Israeli doctor who did a general surgeon who actually did a lot of general surgery at the time with the CO2 laser. And there we were with this is Parienda's wife. At the 8th Congress was hosted by Ming Kao. It was a wonderful meeting held in the Grand Hotel in Taiwan. And at this particular meeting, we were very impressed by the fact that the Minister of Health, who was a neurosurgeon, came down from the stage and kissed Masha. And we felt very touched by this. And that's so much for Taiwan. This was the meeting hosted by Scott and Professor Glance. And this was the meeting in Bangkok, which was something that we never forgot and never will forget, organized by Narong Nimsakul. This was Masha giving a talk. Narong, we regard him almost like our son, and he asked his mother to come up and give a talk because his wife unfortunately had passed away in the meantime. And I remember that Masha talked about Sulak at this meeting, the people